We have got a beautiful package here from the great company Memphis Shades. Stay tuned, check out what we're going to install on the 2022 Harley Davidson Street Bob. Alright everybody, what is going on? As always, thanks for stopping by to another video today. And like I mentioned, we got a pretty exciting package here from Memphis Shades that we are going to get installed on the Street Bob today. So before we get started with this one, huge shout out and thank you to Memphis Shades, friend of the show, friend of the channel. They were kind enough to go ahead and send out this package to me. Huge thank you to those guys. Of course, Memphis Shades is definitely one of my favorite brands, one of the best in the biz as far as it goes as windshields, windscreens, all that good stuff. So very excited, very humbled to work with that company. I love everything that they make. I loved all their content online, all that good stuff. Great company. And of course, I will drop links to everything we have here down in the comments. Make sure you go check out Memphis Shades, check out their website if you're ever looking for screens, windshields, all that good stuff. Again, they're one of my favorite companies. Fix up the front of your bike, block some wind for you. So we have already got this box opened up here. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. You guys can probably already guess what we have going on in here. We're going to get unpackaged the Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing. So here's the shield that we've got. We've got the actual fairing itself down in here. And then of course, we've got all the hardware that's going to come with this as well, the trigger lock mounting kit. So if you guys are familiar with my other bike, I've got a 2019 Harley Davidson Iron 1200 Sportster. I've got their cafe fairing on the front of that. Installed that pretty quickly after getting that bike. I love that thing. It adds a nice look to the bike. But for this one, with the Street Bob, I really wanted to go with something a little bit bigger. You know, obviously it's a bigger bike. We got more power, going to be doing more long distance traveling and stuff like that. Really wanted something a little bit bigger for the front end, like the Road Warrior, to really block a lot of that wind. And I just really love the look of it as well. So pretty excited to have two Memphis Shades products on my bikes now. So the way we're going to get this thing started here is we're going to go ahead, and they also were kind enough to send me the headlight extension block. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the headlight here. We're going to put the extension block in so we have it nice and flush once we put the actual fairing itself on. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and remove this screw here, and then we're going to go ahead and detach the light from this piece. Alrighty, so we've got this Allen removed from here. Then we're going to go ahead, take a couple 9/16 wrenches here and unscrew the rest of the headlight piece here. Alrighty, so we'll throw that piece off to the side. We're going to use the same bolts that came right out of what we just took out. Alright, so next up we're going to install the head block here. One thing to remember is obviously this side's going to go down. You've got this little pin sticking up right here, which is going to put you right in line onto where to put that. So we've got our headlight block, we've got our spacers here. We're going to go ahead and insert this into the headlight housing. I do want to leave these just a little bit loose here in case we make any adjustments before we put the actual fairing on. Alrighty, so then again, we're going to line up the pinhole here. I'm going to put it on the farthest one for now. I don't know if we might have to change that up later. We'll see. Alright, so we got our screw in here, and we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. Alrighty, so we got the headlight block installed here. Alright, so this will give you a little look at what it's like with the headlight block installed. Just pushes the light forward. We've got her all tightened up right here. Now we're going to move into some of the mounting hardware for the fairing itself. Alrighty, next up we're going to cut open some of the mounting hardware here. What we have is the trigger lock mount, which is going to go on the fairing itself, and then we've got the clamps that are going to go around the forks to actually lock in the fairing itself. Alrighty, next up we are going to get the clamps onto the fork. So one thing you want to make sure of is you want to have the tabs facing forward. So definitely have these tabs here that you can see facing forward, not backwards. I'm going to start this with, I think, kind of the third notch in. So go ahead and wrap it around like that. And then let's get this thing tightened up. All right, there we go. I am going to leave these hand tight just for now so we can make some adjustments as we need to. Let's get the other 3 on. So another thing to remember with the top ones here, eventually they say you want to have these about 2 inches apart. I'm going to start just about 1 inch or so from the top, and we will adjust those to 2 inches later. Alrighty, so we have the clamps on now. I'm starting off about 1/2 inch from here, and then again we've got the 2 inches here. We want the tabs facing forward. Again, these little pieces here, you can actually unloosen these, slide them forward a little bit, and actually change kind of the angle of the fairing. We'll mess around with that a little bit once we get the other piece on. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get the fairing piece out of here. We're gonna have to go ahead and mount the trigger lock mechanism now. Alright, so from here we're going to undo the mounting bolts. This is going to be a 7/16. That's going to get these undone for you. So of course when you mount this, you're going to want the trigger lock side up, obviously. So let's go ahead and take our bolts again, and the other piece is going to go into the front. Alrighty, so we have one side on and tight now. Let's go ahead and get the next trigger lock mounting piece on. Alrighty, so the mounting hardware is on. That's going to give you an idea what it's going to look like on the inside, and then on the front as well with those mounting pieces. Alrighty, so the moment of truth here, we are going to go ahead and put this on, see how it all lines up. I did have to adjust these just a little bit to see where I was going when I was mocking this up. So again, our trigger portion, you're going to push these forward, lift them up. Alright, so there we have it. The first piece of the Road Warrior is attached now with the trigger lock. We just want to check it from the sides, make sure everything is tight, locked into place. Kind of gives you a shot of the side mechanism as well. Feels good and tight there. See how it looks from the front. Headlight looks good. Over here on the other side, just want to check the lock. Obviously, if we wanted to get it off, we would pull this forward and lift up, but we're going to keep it locked right there in place. Just want to give it a couple more tugs and some pulls here and make sure everything's tight. I think we're good to go here. Alrighty, so the final piece here is going to be putting the 11-inch dark smoke screen onto the top. So let's go ahead and unwrap the rest of the screen out of the plastic. So this is going to go ahead and sit right up here to finish it off. Alright, so we do have the little screws here that are going to mount the screen to the top of the fairing. Looks like we can use a little bit of a flat head here. Alright, we got the first one in. Let's go ahead and finish up the rest. Alrighty, so there we go. We're just about wrapped up. I've got these hand tight. Let's finish it off with tightening them up with the screwdriver. Wow. Alrighty, so there we have it. The fairing is now installed. The Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing is now installed. We're going to clean it up just a little bit here, but it got some fingerprints on it and everything. But wow, love the look of this thing already. The side profile is really kind of the cool thing here that really adds that nice flare to the front with the windshield. Again, this is the Road Warrior 11-inch screen here, 11-inch in the dark smoke. Let's get a look at it from the other side. I love the black too, just kind of the black accents, the black fairing, black accents into the bike. Wow, loving this so far. Let's see what it looks like from the front. Looking good here. I'm just gonna make sure everything's all tightened up here, tight and stable. Everything feels all good. Give it a couple pulls. Wow, again, absolutely already loving this thing. Can't wait to get it out on the road, take a ride with it, see how it blocks the wind. Obviously, it's going to block a lot of this off my chest where I was taking it before. Again, I went with 11-inch. I don't have any further experience. I've heard 11 or 13 is probably the best. I'm a little bit shorter, so I went with 11. Let's see what it's like when I hop on the bike here. Yeah, I think that's going to be perfect. That should be sending wind right up over my head. I think the 11-inch is going to be perfect for me. I'm 5'6", so I think this will be right about good to send wind right up and over. So yeah, I think that's going to wrap this one up for now. I'm going to get this fairing cleaned up, take it out on the road, wipe off all these fingerprints here. Again, Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing on a 2022 Harley Davidson Street Bob. Again, huge shout out to Memphis Shades, friend of the show, friend of the channel. Thanks again to those guys for sending out this Memphis Shades Road Warrior fairing. Very humbled and honored that they would work with a smaller channel like myself. Looking forward to making some more content with the Road Warrior here. We're going to definitely do some ride videos. We'll also do some comparison videos to my cafe fairing over on my Sportster. So definitely excited. And again, a huge shout out to Memphis Shades. Go check those guys out. So that's going to wrap up this install for now. Again, make sure you guys ride safe out there. Be a friend, tell a friend, tell them to stop by, subscribe to the channel, like this video. And as always, we will catch you on the next one. Make it a good one, guys. It's the Moto John. We'll see y'all on down the road. Peace.